A very good morning and welcome to the Did You Know segment with me, your host, Espila Caleb, only on RNI TV. Remember to like, subscribe, and share on our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter platforms. And today we're going to talk about 7 most powerful queens in Africa. Yeah, you heard me right. In Africa. So today we're going to go all the way to Nigeria in the Yoruba land by the person named Amina, the Queen of Zaria, Nigeria. Nigeria actually was a monarchy. It was a monarchy, like it was led by queens and kings. So this particular queen called Amina Muhammad, and she was from a Hausa warrior queen to the city of Zazau. Zazau is actually in Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the biggest countries in Africa, and it's one of the most populated. So it was actually having monarchies at that time, and we're going to see most of these queens on our platform are going to come from Nigeria. And actually, presently in the northwest region, that's where Zazau, the city, was and still is. The leadership skill of this lady was so renowned in that the historians described her as one of the greatest queens in Nigeria. And you know, she was so powerful and so great in her leadership skills that her grandfather actually used to allow her to come into meetings. Think about that. We're talking about the traditional African societies where the men were given the most predominant, they were like the predominant figures in those times. So the grandfather used to give her the chance to go and listen in and give in her views in matters leadership, and that's how she became the greatest warrior king in Nigeria. On to number 2, we have Kandaki. Kandaki, the Empress of Ethiopia, but previously it was called Kush. The island of Kush, the land of Kush. So Kandaki or Candace was regarded as one of the most powerful war ladies. Like, wow, I know you guys are like, war ladies. Yeah, she was a war lady, and she was regarded as the most powerful war lady of that time. And historians said that she was very fierce and she was a military leader. So it means if she could find you, she could beat you to a pulp. Right? That is Tandaki or Candace. On to number 3, we have Makade, Queen of Sheba of Ethiopia. I know you've heard this in the Bible. She traveled all the way from Ethiopia to go and see King Solomon just to listen to his wisdom. Yeah, so the Bible is real because we see Tandaki, the Queen of Sheba, who went all the way to visit King Solomon right there in Israel. And you know, she was so fierce that she defeated the serpent king called King of Aure. I'll give you more of that story on the next segment of the King of Aure, one of the most fierce kings. And also we're going to look at very deep things and very deep mythological things also in our segment. Up to number 4, we have one of the greatest queens that you've never heard of, or maybe you've heard of her. Her name is Nefertiti, all the way from Egypt. She was from the dynasty of the Amenhotep, yeah? So she was an Egyptian queen and a great royal wife of Akhenaten, an Egyptian pharaoh. With her husband, she reigned during what was arguably the wealthiest period of the ancient Egyptian time. Wealth during those times was actually, because remember, Egypt had practiced the agrarian revolution. We are talking about agriculture and all that, about the River Nile and how it used to produce grains to trade for countries in the Middle East, Mesopotamia, Africa, and the like. So Nefertiti was one of the greatest queens of that time during the time of the reign of King Akhenaten the Pharaoh. Then we have number 5 called Asantewa. Wow, I know you can already guess the name Asantewa. Of course, she was from the Ashanti community in Nigeria, actually in Ghana. And Asantewa was the queen mother of Ejisu of the Asante Empire. Wow, did you know that? She was the mother of Ejisu of the Ashanti Empire, now part of the modern day Ghana. And in the 1900s, she led the Ashanti War at the Golden Stool, also known as the Asantewa War, against the British colonial. She was that fierce. She went against people who had guns and had spears and rifles. So this was Queen Asantewa of the British of the 1900s of the Ashanti community right there in Ghana. Then on to number 6, we have Queen Nandi of the Zulu kingdom. I know you've heard of Zulu and you think of Shaka Zulu. Yeah, they are very much related. Queen Nandi was actually the mother to Shaka Zulu, one of the greatest kings and renowned kings of South Africa, who led a very rebellious war against the British, where a lot of British lost their lives as well as the Zulu people lost their lives. So this was the queen during that time, and she was the mother to this Shaka Zulu, and she played a major role in matters advising the king. He was advising the son in matters of how to rule the kingdom, and Shaka Zulu was one of the most powerful kings and queens. Kings of the Zulu community. I'll do this story in one of these YouTube series. And then on to number 7, who is the last but not least. And before we go there, the first 500 people who are going to like, subscribe are going to get 10 years of pure luck. So on to the last one. Queen Moremi of Kingdom of Nigeria. That is the Ile Ife Kingdom. So the Ile Ife Kingdom was found in Nigeria, and this queen was a courageous queen who was fabled to have contributed to the deliverance of the Yoruba tribe from oppression. So there's actually a film done right now on this. It's called The Warrior Queen. It's actually based on this queens of Nigeria. So for more of these, like, subscribe and share. Each and every Wednesday we're going to be there giving you more details on what you did not know about Africa, what you did not know about the kings. Also, there's the comment section over there on the story that you'd like us to do. You can comment there, like, subscribe, share. Watch as much as possible, get to know more of your place in Africa, and also there are also other queens that we did not mention. Also, you can we're going to talk about Njinga, the queen of Angola. We're going to talk of Cleopatra, the queen of Egypt. Those are some of the queens that were very powerful during that time. So without further ado, my name is Espila Caleb. This was RNI TV. Keep it locked each and every Wednesday. Bye bye.